I've been thinking a lot about, like, dad cinema recently, more so, like, what that even is. I mean, the only real definition is something that your dad would like, your dad specifically. But if we know our dads, it can range from, like, one specific thing to literally anything ever made. Man of Steel, Planet of the Apes, but only the one with James Franco and none of the others. Anything made by Ken Burns for sure, and for some reason, Mamma Mia. It's such an odd spectrum and dimension that not even Rod Sterling would touch it, and he's into all kinds of shit. Add the Twilight Zone to that list in Spectrum too, minus the political commentary, obviously. But I think there's like a concentration of factors that would make a movie dad cinema. Men being men, working really, really hard. Guns, explosions, and machines, either working on them to, make them function, or just driving them really, really fast. Top Gun, Ford vs. Ferrari, Taken, Fury, The Founder for some reason, because Michael Keaton. Top Gun Maverick, Real Steel. On a side note, I am actually very sad that we never got a Real Steel 2, Realer Steel. Yeah, no, that's just the tangent. Go watch Real Steel. It's a really good movie, actually. And yes, I do hear you screaming at me through the screen to talk about a certain category of movies that dads love that a good chunk of these fall into, and I'm gonna get to that. But I think a more important factor in dad cinema is not only the wide range of genre, but also the much, much wider range in quality. Not saying that your dad has trash taste, but, there's a lot of dad movies that are just kind of okay to borderline bad, but I'd consider a good chunk of these movies the kind of films you'd see like on TikTok. You'd see one scene and then you're scrolling down and then half the plot, and then you see it on Netflix and it's like, oh yeah, it's the one with that one guy and the one thing that's I am becoming my father. But I think what I'm really trying to get at here is that dad cinema really is only worth it for a couple of scenes. Like, if you're gonna rewatch it, you're gonna skip to certain parts. And it kind of comes with the territory. Dads love sports movies. They're gonna skip to the big game at the end. Rocky, you're gonna watch the fight. Action movies, you're gonna watch stuff blow up. So yeah, some of them are only good for a handful of scenes, but sometimes they're really only good for like one. Hey guys, do you remember Battleship? If you don't remember, I don't really blame you. It is one of the biggest box office bombs of all time, only dwarfed by John Carter roughly a year later. And both of those films are being led by Tim Riggins himself, Taylor Kitsch. It is not his fault, but I do find that incredibly funny. And if you're also asking, wait, Battleship like the board game? Yes, like the board game. Hasbro was really high off the whole Michael Bay Transformers thing, so they decided, hey, let's keep that ball rolling, only nautical this time. So yeah, they made an explosion fest that felt like Dia Transformers that wasn't really, obviously, that great, despite, the budget, the super original idea of the army fighting aliens, but in water this time, and the cast. No, seriously, guys, look at the cast. Liam Neeson, Alexander Skarsgård, Jesse Plemons, Tadanobu Asano, Hamish Linklater, Rami Malek, and Rihanna. Legitimately Rihanna. It's a whole crazy deal, but whatever, the movie is boring and bad. Let's just skip to the scene that I am talking about, and I'm pretty sure you know which one I am talking about if you know I'm talking about Battleship. Final act of the movie. Their destroyer is destroyed, so they don't have any ships left. Except maybe they do. With a batch of actual World War II veterans that manned this girl back in the day, they get her up and running as AC/DC's Thunderstruck starts playing, and they stop the aliens from, linking up a satellite. But, the point of the scene is to start up the engine, have the old-timers show the youngins the ropes, getting a freaking battleship out of the water, to quote the movie.
Let's drop some lead on those motherfuckers!
But wait, that's after they first drift a battleship. Holy crap, they drift a battleship in the water. This gets me going. But, if you've studied film like I have, it's the framing, the mise-en-scène. I'm just kidding. It's military propaganda, obviously. Look at the kind of movie that we're watching here. I hate to break it to you, boys and girls, but any piece of media that shows the military in a good light is technically propaganda. Though there is a gray area if it's like a fictional government like Pacific Rim, so I mean, hell, chances are Hasbro got, a bit of a discount on the military contracts because they were like, hey, after this movie, recruitment for the Navy's gonna jump, man. I highly doubt that was the actual case. But, with all due respect to the Navy, I think it is one of the more noble branches of the military to join. I mean, it's the water. You kind of have to own the water. Before aircraft, that was the thing to own. It's 70% of Earth. And then now we have, drones and shit that anyone can just, do PS3 style. So But in terms of propaganda, I think it's one of the better examples. I mean, hey, this time we're fighting an enemy that actually invaded, unprompted. It's not our fault, guys. And also, they're aliens. They kind of look like us, but they're definitely not, so it's totally okay for them to die. And yeah, sure, they're aliens, but it's also really vague on who they are. I'm looking at you, Top Gun Maverick, with your enemy. Or, you know, you can do the other thing, which is just pick a random country that we sort of have beef with and go on from there. This one, it's the total opposite. The premise of the movie is that the Navy is having a multinational, naval exercise. They even have, a fun little soccer game that our main character ruins by being an aggro piece of shit. Plus, this one's a little more clean-cut versus, the gritty, boots-on-the-ground reality, say, Battle Los Angeles, another terrible alien invasion movie trying to copy Transformers that we kind of get our ass kicked for most of the movie before we discover stuff. Sure, the final scene of them reloading after taking a 10-minute break ready to get back out on the front lines is kind of badass, but it screams Call of Duty. But I also think it doesn't really hold a candle to this scene, at all. Plus, the scene has the benefit that the rest of the movie absolutely suck. It is boring. It's so boring. Nothing happens. They do a fun thing where they actually play Battleship in the middle of it, but the rest sucks, and then they play Fortunate Son at the end. Is that the only, go military song you can think of, Peter? But again, in this sequence, we got IRL veterans who served on the USS Missouri just eager to lend a hand, ready to serve, help out on the war effort. I suppose we're not technically at war, you know what I mean? But they're, actually pretty respectful. During the boot-up sequence, they're tough but supportive, but I end up rooting for all of them and the old girl to get out in the water and start kicking ass. I should also mention this is juxtaposed with a double amputee disabled veteran kicking an alien's ass and choking him out with his prosthetic leg. Sure, why not? And yeah, the crew, young and old, are a fun reminder that we are the good guys and we do kick ass. Yeah, we're the good guys all the time, 100%. World War II? Yeah, never did anything wrong there. We were 100% the good guys. A last reminder of the time we were right on history and didn't drop the bomb. Ball on our morality. I don't know. I'm being a curmudgeon, but I think it's mainly because, one, I rewatched the movie for this video, and that is 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back, more like 3. And two, I've never really been that pumped for, a cool kick-ass military scene in quite some time. Maybe that's because I'm #woke or whatever, but whenever I see the military in a movie, I don't feel anything. This is gonna sound weird, but I kind of wish military propaganda worked better. COD is such a broken product and an experience, I can't even bother to be brainwashed because, they're just trying to be Fortnite now. Not even Marvel movies have that glamour anymore. Remember Brave New World? Yeah, sucked the air right out of it, and it was an actual good spy story until everyone else came in. Really wish the leader had more to do, and also Marvel, just make a Hulk movie. And also remember, at the end, where the president turned himself into custody because he was clearly unfit for office and did technically commit a crime, all for the benefit of the American people? What a hoot. That'll never happen. I guess that's what I'm really getting to. I mean, not to be the woker or anything, but look at what the military is like now. Bending over backwards to a country we were kinda chill with despite our history after starting shit with them unprompted, all due to the ego of an old orange man. Posting memes and edits treating the actual military like a video game with less grace and humility than the actual war movie based on a board game, and removing initiatives and accomplishments of people of color and LGBTQ people while being spearheaded by an old alcoholic newscaster who I could outbench any fucking day. Meanwhile, in 2012, Hasbro was like, you know what, yeah, Rihanna can be a petty officer in the US Navy, fucking deal with it. And you know what? She convinced me. I had no qualms with Rihanna being there after seeing her for the first time. Granted, I was distracted by all the other dumb shit. Hi, editor me here. So apparently in the time between me filming that video and the time it coming out, the U.S. military under Hegseth also announced a policy to annually test for high testosterone levels in its members. Mandatory, by the way. And also, the House passed a bill, and a section in that bill would essentially more interconnect our military with the nation of Israel, not as a joint task force, just sharing everything, whatever they want. It's fine. It's fine. And this is not trying to dunk on like the actual military. I know people who are in the service and I respect them. They're some of the coolest people I fucking know. I just wish that when the state and a movie studio team up to try to get me to join up, I would be less disappointed, because for some reason we can't do a better job than fucking Battleship now. Do you know how low the bar has to be for Battleship to be the best example I can think of? It's almost like the department is being run by a bunch of old dudes who have the dude mentality of what they think is cool, but with no actual storytelling ability or actual taste. Like, I bet if you ask the head honchos to name something really cool, you'll get such a wide array of answers, so scattershot, you'll be so embarrassed you'll cast the surveys into the wind of the Aegean Sea. So yeah, I think I really understand why dads like this shit. Especially your dad.